Hey, this is Louis D. Fresh bringing it to you on a Friday afternoon. I hope you're doing well. I'm getting used to this stuff about doing videos here in my office. It's usually nice and quiet here on Fridays. There's nobody here, so it's just me. I took a little time out, did my little PowerPoint, little Canva presentation. So I want to share with you, as I told you before the United States Thanksgiving, that I was going to attend this webinar sponsored by SoFi on Wednesday, November 29, 2023, and I did. Today is Friday, December 1st. This will air on Sunday, December 3rd. And so I wanted to give you some information. Honestly, I kind of thought it was going to be like a kind of literally taking my hand and kind of like guiding me through the FAFSA. But what they decided to do was to give you more tidbits, and that's why I call it Tidbits for FAFSA. I'm looking at my little title here, because they just wanted to give you some little details on what else was new and to look out for. And I think probably at the end of January of 2024, I'm going to do a follow-up, because I want to see if there's any troubleshooting that needs to get done, or is anything that anything to emphasize or de-escalate or whatever. So we'll do one more of these for the for this school year. Now remember, when you're filling out the FAFSA this year, I'm talking about 2023. That's the year I'm talking about. It is for the school year of 2024-2025, because currently we are in the year 2023-2024. So this FAFSA will be for 2024-2025. And before I forget, the FAFSA needs to be filled out every year that you are in college. If you want to write that down, write that down. Every year that you are in college, you need to fill out the FAFSA, because financial aid is a year-by-year basis. After my 2-minute and 9-second soliloquy there, you see I take notes, and I kind of put little highlights on what I want to talk about. And this is the notes from the PowerPoint, from the webinar, which I transferred and made kind of cutesy on this Canva presentation. Tidbits for FAFSA, December 2023. Again, courtesy of SoFi, giving you some more information. You're going to be definitely doing the FAFSA online. Don't think about doing things on paper, and you're really just taking notes to get more information on this FAFSA that will be coming out on December 31st, 2023. They emphasized that a couple times. I know they're kind of saying, is it on or before or around? I'm pretty sure that the consensus is that the start date is December 31st, 2023. If I were you, I mean, the early bird really does catch the worm. Set aside some time on that last day of the calendar year to do it, because it will be worth your while. So we have here, again, it's for the school year of 2024-2025. That's what you're filling this out, because remember, you're in the year 2023-2024 right now. And again, each school year that you're in college, you need to fill out a FAFSA. So therefore, for the future, it should come out on October 1st. But things change, but that's the latest information. Again, they reemphasized on the SoFi webinar the types of financial aid. They mentioned grants, federal, referring to United States, state, in my case, Florida. And I put region just in case, for I know that lots of people are watching this in different parts of the world. As an example, in Canada, there are regions. Like there's the Ontario region, the Quebec region, the Saskatchewan region. Those regions may have different forms of aid that are available to you. So that is more sort of like state, sort of like, what's that word I'm looking for? Governmental aid. That's really the word I'm looking for. Scholarships, local, civic, and college. Keep your eyes open for stores that have scholarships available to you. Civic, if you do a certain amount of community service in a certain place. They may have a scholarship for you, civic, and the college itself. Like those two things I definitely mentioned before, the grants and the scholarships. Thing that I do not think I have mentioned before, the work study. That is actually money that when you work on campus, you get paid. And usually it's designed for you to pay, not for you to go out to the movies or go out with your girlfriend. It's really to pay off your schooling. So that is why it's work study. And I have to remember to do a video on that because I know I have not emphasized that at all. And the last but not least, which I will mention probably in April of 2024, and I have mentioned in the past, student loans. That's the last thing you want to do. Those you have to pay back. And at the end of the day, what they didn't emphasize on the SoFi webinar, which I'm going to emphasize, because I know that was how they opened up they spoke about this for about a good 10 minutes, is you take all of that money and you bundle it together, as you see here, like a little present, and that is going to be your financial aid that you're going to take with you to go to college. I emphasized this the last time, but they re-emphasized it in the SoFi webinar, so I'm going to re-emphasize it. EFC used to be estimated family contribution. We can take notes on this. It is not the EFC anymore because you have older brothers and sisters saying, where's the EFC? It's not called EFC anymore. It is called SAI, Student Aid Index. And it's kind of learning for me too. Student Aid Index. And what it is basically grouping the money that you guys have in the house. That's what my little pictures are about. That's what the Student Aid Index is. In essence, what are we talking about when we're talking about, in other words, how much money do you have? Can you pay for college? And what do you have? And what it is, for example, this is an important thing. I don't think I harped on this at all, really, is child support. If your mom, dad, relative, stepmom, stepdad, aunt, uncle, whatever it is, gets child support, that is an asset. That is money that you have coming into the house. So child support. You may have a business. Your family may own a little store. They may own a little convenience store. They may own, whatever it may be. That business is an asset, is bringing money into the house. Again, middle of the country of the United States, there are lots and lots of farms, especially in places like Wisconsin, dairy farming. I know in Storrs, Connecticut, they have a whole theme there on dairy farming. So I mean that is a big thing here in the United States. So please make sure if your family owns a farm, any type of farm, that is an asset. And we're talking about parent and student income. Parent income may seem obvious, but the student income, if you want to write this down, the money that you make is considered a contribution to your household. So be careful how much money you make. And I remember when I was a kid, back in the late 1980s, I remember that was a big deal that was emphasized to me. Be careful how much money you make because the colleges will think that you are saving for college. So parent and student income. And this, since I don't have biological children, I did not know what the heck a 529 was. I know they kept saying it, 529. I'm like, what is that? Those are college savings plans that parents may have. And so you may want to talk to your mom, dad, stepdad, aunt, uncle, grandparent, whoever it is. They may have write it down, 529 plan, which is a college savings for your college. And that is definitely included in that SAI. I'm trying not to look at the screen. I gotta learn that. The SAI, which is going to be relating to how much money, as my hand moves there, as what money you have towards your college education. 529 plan. Continuing, from my little notes that I have here, the maximum questions now is 46 questions, which is a big difference from 108. So that's a nice difference. So you're not completely overwhelmed by it. So that's a good change. And I know I told you this last time. You can select up to 20 colleges. Only 10 before. Why is that good? Is it because even though, and you might want to write this down also, even though you have not been accepted to college X, Y, and Z, put it down. Because right now you should have completed your applications, or you should finish them by the end of the calendar year. and you may not know the answer or for your application maybe until January, February, even March. So please make sure that you include all the colleges you apply to on your FAFSA. Required automatic transfer of tax information, FTI. Write it down, because you're not going to hear federal tax information. You're going to hear FTI. Your family has to have had filled out their taxes. So, well, my parents don't fill out taxes. They need to have filled out the taxes for 2022. Reason. And this sounds horrible, but whatever. It's because they don't want illegal aliens or illegal citizen, or illegal whatever the heck it's called, to grab your money. So as long as you're a permanent resident, you have a visa to work, whatever it may be, you don't have to be a citizen. As long as there's some type of legal reason that you're in this country and you fill out your taxes, then you are eligible for financial aid. So that's why automatically they're going to get the FTI, federal tax information, automatically. And parent and student need an FSA ID. Write it down. Parent and student FSA ID. Google FSA ID. I don't want to bore you to tears. Just Google FSA ID, literally as I have it right there. If you need to write it down, space FSA ID, and you'll be able to get register for the FSA ID. It's really quite simple. It's your name, your I think it's your date of birth. I think Social Security. I'm not sure. And you're gonna get a little ID. So this way it recognizes you once you start the FAFSA on December 31st of this year. So make sure you do it beforehand, because it does take a few days. And so that's why I put, I know you guys are bigger than that, but I'm saying that's why I emphasize parent and child, and do it before December 31st. I would do it probably around December 20th. This way, because of the holidays and all that, make sure that you have it. So this way you're ready to rock and roll on the 31st. This is another big change, and I do not think I mentioned this. That's why on my little notes here, I really emphasized that and I highlighted it and whatever. Family size. Before, your family size, you see a family size here? You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. They say, wow, because the family size, so therefore I have a lot of people, so therefore I should be getting a lot of money. No, it's based on tax exemptions. I don't have any tax exemptions because I don't have kids. What is tax exemption? I want to write this down. Is the people so let's say I had 2 kids. I would have 2 tax exemptions. Those kids would rely on my assistance, on my financial assistance. So the tax exemption is based on, so if I had 2 children under the age of 18 living with me, that would be 2 tax exemptions. So I'm not counting the grandparent. I'm not counting the little baby. I am. I'm not counting the grandmother. I'm not counting whatever else. I'm not counting whatever. The aunt, the uncle, the cousin who lives with us, the neighbor who lives with us. I'm not talking about all that. I'm just talking about the people that rely on your money to live. So the family size is based on the tax exemption, not who lives in the house. And it's also per child basis. So if you have 2 parents, if you have 2 kids going to college at the same time, 3 kids going to college. Why? Because you had twins, 1 or 3 at the same time, or 1 got left back, 1, whatever, took time out to look for things, to find themselves, whatever it may be. You may have 4 kids. Each child has to have a FAFSA. And I know I did not emphasize that in the past. Write that down. FAFSA is on a per child basis. So each child will have a separate FAFSA. Write that down. It is a per child basis. FAFSA parent, who provides the most support? 51% is the magic number. 51% or more. So if you are that parent who is a 51% or more that provides 51% or more financial support, you are called a contributor. That is a big fancy word that using in FAFSA. You are a contributor. It is not necessarily living with the child. You may be unmarried, you may be divorced, it may have been a whatever situation, and you just happen to be paying more into for that child. So if you are a contributor, 51% or more, That is, you are the one who is the FAFSA parent. And children with special needs. I thought, even though this was my one little line there, I think it was kind of important, because there are in this day and age, 2023, 2024, there are lots of people with autism, and lots of people have physical and mental disabilities or challenges, and it's a reality. And so sometimes your FAFSA application does not accurately reflect the costs involved with perhaps having an aide, a nurse aide, around the clock help. You may need people to give you special whatever it may be for your child. You can type up a letter of an appeal to FAFSA if your FAFSA does not accurately represent the costs that are involved with those special needs. So this way they know, they have that documentation before they make a decision, and your voice is heard. So I think that's really, really important. And you can also write an appeal because we're talking about, you may want to write this down because I forgot to mention, I didn't write it down. What we're talking about is your FAFSA is going to be based on your income from 2022. Write that down. Your FAFSA is going to be based on your income from 2022, not 2023. So if there was a loss of a job in 2023, that won't be, God forbid, that won't be reflected in this FAFSA. So write that down. If there is a special need, if there's something happened, or there's financial hardship, for example, my family, my grandmother-in-law passed away in September. I'm just using it as a real life example. And now my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law don't have that income that they had coming in from my grandmother-in-law, referring to the governmental money that she was receiving while she was alive. So that is a financial hardship. And let's say for fun that there was a child in the house that was under 18, that would be something you want to make clear, because in 2022, as an example, 2022, my grandmother-in-law was alive. So that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So FAFSA needs to be aware before they make a judgment. Is there some type of special costs involved in your household? Was there, God forbid, a loss of a job? God forbid, a fire in the house? Something could have happened, with some type of accident, God forbid, some type of financial hardship, somebody died. These are things that are very important to make sure that the FAFSA is aware of. I really didn't expect to go that long, but that's okay. It's really important. FAFSA is I know say, but why? When I can do things from the college scholarships, I can get stuff from private scholarships, which I've mentioned before. I can get stuff from the state. In my case, the Florida Bright Futures. This is the reason I harp on the FAFSA so much. And if you look at my videos, my archives, the reason I harp on it so much is because it is truly the backbone, is not only the backbone, but it's the very foundation of financial aid. Colleges want to see what kind of money you guys have before they start issuing out money. So it's really, really important that you fill out this FAFSA, because many colleges will say, I'm not going to give you anything until I see that FAFSA. So make it happen. Take the notes. If you need to see this again 2-3 times, please do so. Some really good information. Look at my past ones. I think the one previously, sponsored by Sally Mae. I have to think about it for a second. And again, we'll follow up probably at the end of January 2024 to see if there are any hiccups in the FAFSA. This is Louis D. Fresh.